thank you so much for considering becoming a client of Gold and Silver for Life. See, you're giving us a responsibility and you're committing to something that's so important, your wealth. The thing that's going to determine how your time gets used in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, your children's time and everything. This is so important. And one of the key parts of our program, one of the reasons why people love it the most, is our weekly Q&A calls. These calls you never pay for. You get to come back week on week and to experience the ongoing growth of your investment with. And how these calls work is very, very simple. I'm about to take you behind the scenes into one of our calls, so you're going to see exactly what you're going to experience week on week. Now still got people joining these calls that became clients in 2010 when we launched. There is no charge for these. They happen on a weekly basis. I should say there's no additional charge for them. And the purpose of them is to really, as you're going to see in a second, really allow you to consistently focus on building the asset that you're growing here, which is your gold and silver. One of the biggest complaints that I've seen in the investment education space is that the support is very minimal. Now, the reason why we do our support via weekly Q&A calls is, as you're about to see, the questions are very easy to answer because you can see me actually looking at the chart and pointing to different things and showing you how to do that. You get to ask me one-on-one. It's very, very leveraged because all the clients are on this call. And you get to learn from other people's experiences and see other people's results and things like that. So I just want to say what you're going to see on the screen right now is a recording of a live Q&A call that we did on May the 23rd, 2016. In front of you, you're going to see the chart on the left-hand side, which is what my screen shows and what you can see when you're on the call. And on the right-hand side, on the white section, you're going to see the chat messages that people, you, when you join. That's where you type, and that's where I get to see your questions, and that's where everyone comments and everything like that. So I hope you enjoy it. This is a glimpse of one of our Q&A calls and pretty much everything we talk about. There is going to be certain proprietary information which is just available to clients, which I'll block out, and I'll put a message on the screen when we can't show that. I hope you understand that that's for people that have paid a lot of money to become clients, and that's particular information for them. The purpose of this video is just to take you behind the scenes and show you what you're going to get week in, week out, as far as your account goes, and working with us, and what's included in that. And so without further ado, let's jump in, and I hope you enjoy a glimpse into what you're going to get once you're a client with no extra charge for as long as you want to become a client. Let's dive in now. Okay, good evening everybody, Minash Bindi here. Hope everyone's doing really well. Can I get an audio check please? And we'll make sure that you guys can hear me, and then we'll get to answering some questions. What an exciting week that's happened. Got to talk about some interesting things, and we've got to talk about potentially gold landing and silver landing in a bull market, which is good. Sound is good, fantastic. So I'm back in London now. So let's have a look at what's happened. If you've got any questions, please do type them in, and then we can get them. So from last week, let's just get to Monday last week. Where are we? All right, there we go. From Monday last week, we've come down. The price has come down, and we have gone ahead and filled this gap right here. So I'm going to go and remove that. We are looking at getting this gap filled at some point. So that's good news from that perspective. I think a lot of the great analysts that I pay attention to are now saying that this is now a bull market. Now you're probably wondering, hey, what's up? Why isn't it going straight up through the sky? Bull markets don't really work like that. No market really works like that. It doesn't go down in a straight line. It doesn't go up in a straight line. There's always pullbacks. There's always consolidations. So overall, everyone's very, very excited that this is a bull market sign. We shall see. However, I believe that we are entering a strengthening position, but I think it's going to go up in a sideways direction, and keep mellowing out like this every now and then, at least for this year. But you never know. So um, that's very exciting. As far as call positions and things like that, I know a few people said, "Hey, I'm in a 1650 call. What do I do?" Hopefully, you guys stuck through, and on Wednesday, your gift was given to you right there with the price coming down, and then obviously Thursday, just before, um, you had that day of, hey, okay, we're not gonna get called out today. Right? So that this is how last minute it can happen. And if you had a 1650 call, there were some shaky moments, but nothing too scary. And it came down, and obviously those that held on. Who held on, by the way? Let me get uh, let me get a read on that. Who held on and who generated a profit? What profit did you generate as a percentage? Because that's really important. This is all fine tuning your nervous system, so to say, to actually respond to the market, right? So this is all fine tuning. Alistair said he did, and it was for a 16 call. Wow, Alistair's nerves are getting absolutely finely tuned, huh? Look at that. So what was your profit, Alistair? Brian made 1.8%. Constance also held the 16 call. Pete held on for 1.9% profit. Oh, wow. Fantastic. That's really great. Guys, let's give these guys congratulations. Just rather than mentioning the names, just say congratulations, guys, for everyone who managed to make that profit. Come on, let's give everyone a congratulations. We've got Brian, we've got Constance, we've got Pete, we've got Alistair. It's fantastic results. That's what I'm talking about. And that is what you get for, fine tuning your perceptiveness of the market. That's absolutely fantastic. So let's put some congratulations into the comments and celebrate these guys doing really well, and also the other people that are not either on the Q&A call or are on there and don't want to share their results publicly. But that's a fantastic result. Absolutely well done. And yeah, there you go. And for holding your nerve, that's the main thing. It's really with investing. It's how do you master that game of greed and fear. That's when you make the money. So that's absolutely well done, guys. Especially for the 16 calls. I had a few people message in regarding a 1650 call, but a 16 call, that's absolutely fantastic. Here's a question. Why did you guys, let's turn this into a community education platform too, right? Those people that held on the 16 calls, why did you hold on to the 16 calls? What was your thinking behind it? That would be fascinating, I'm sure, for me, definitely, but for other people on the call too. Why did you do that? I'd like to hear that. I'd like to hear your thought process behind that. Because there's one thing saying, Minesh said to hold on to it, or Minesh said to do this, that, and the other. But why did you do it? What gave you the confidence to do it? That's what I want to know. So, Pete, Constance, Brian, Alistair, give me your answers. Why did you guys decide to hold on to those 16 or 1650 call positions without closing them out? Because that is really the key. It's when you can fine tune your nerves, when you can fine tune your perceptive understanding, that's what makes everything just work. And while you're answering that, I just want to answer some questions. Naslin said, is it not a good time to make a put? Right now is a good time to do just in case it comes back down to here and then bounces up again. Okay. As far as gold goes, just while I'm waiting for you guys to answer, as you can see with, well, there we go. So with gold, the advantage of this is, look at the flow, right? You've got all the time to generate the income that you want for the next few months. That's really what it's about with this market. So with gold and silver, same thing. Silver is just a little bit more volatile, a lot more volatile than gold. Alistair said, because I was following the rules and was already clear a few days before the end of the period. There you go. See, take the emotions out of it. I think that's what Alistair said in our little chat interview too. Because Alistair said just follow the rules and it will just work. Brian said I had 16, and when it got to 1580, I watched it all day, and then it came down, so I didn't bite back. There you go. Gary said I did a 15 and a 1550 put. When did you do that put? Natalie, you want to make sure which month are you looking at, which chain are you looking at? If you're looking at a weekly option, it's not going to generate you anything. You want to go out a little bit. Constance said, held on to 16 call because I made a good profit and plan to get back in as soon as the order is filled, either with an outright buy or put. Okay, fantastic. Again, following the rules. I think that's the main thing. That's the main trend that's going to come out of this. It's just came in with 1460. That's absolutely fantastic, Constance. Natsalin, so you want to look at, is it a weekly option? What are you looking at? See, right now, in terms of where the price is, it's not the most ideal. Really much of a problem. It's just from a safety perspective, you want to be underneath the gap. And the other thing, guys, right now is a great time to buy. Right? So even if you do a 15 put, even if you do a 1550 put, right? It's such a great time to buy that if you get assigned, what is the problem? Pete said had a 16 call in case the gap filled in time. Otherwise, I was going to accept 25% profit and look for the next opportunity to get back in. 25% profit, Pete. That's not bad. It's not bad. When did you start? Was it January? 25% profit so far for the year. That's not bad. That's what's called sarcasm. It's not bad for 5 minutes work a month. Derek said, hi, Manish, a real beginner question, but if you are starting out with sufficient money, do you do both a put and a call? Would you do both or put money on long puts? So the put However, what I've just been saying, Derek, is at this price point, if you're a long-term investor at this price point, you can almost skip step one, just buy the stock, because if you're a long-term investor, buying silver at 1560 is, it's going to be one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. Pete said, "Yep." So 25% so far since January. Has anyone else got? Alistair, you got some results like that? But guys, let's give Pete some congratulations. That's a fantastic ROI, don't you think so? I think he's smashed the ROI on a bank account just a little bit. And Pete, are you happy with that return? Are you happy with the process of doing the strategy? Are you finding it easy? It seems that you've sunk your teeth into it pretty well. So, it seems to be working really great for you, which is awesome to hear. Yep, that's absolutely excellent. Let's give him some congratulations. 25% since January. That's a very, very, very good ROI. But Derek, do you understand what I just said? There's a purpose for doing step one, then there's a purpose for doing step two. That would have been the ROI if the call went through. So what's the ROI you've got now? Andrew said, "I wish I was starting with silver at 1580. When I started, I was buying silver at $27. When was that?" Alistair said, "I'm not in that league as I have made some mistakes, but well above any other investment I have." That's awesome. Nathalie, it will say WK1 or WK2 or WK3 next to it. Approximately 2% per month. That's absolutely fantastic. One of the things when I was in Vegas, there was the money show happening in Vegas, as well as Andy's mastermind that I was attending, and we went to the money show just to meet up with some of the partners that we have at the money show. And that's one of the things they said. They said, "How do you guys not talk about 5, 7, 8, 9, 10% per month returns and get clients?" And that was really fascinating to me, because I come from a world where we did do that, right? Where we did talk about 5, 7, 8, 9, 10% per month returns, when if you are a trader full time, it's a realistic return. But most people aren't. And most people look at trading as an opportunity. And therefore, it's very, very unrealistic. And that's why trading has a 3%, the trading world has a 3% success rate. And it was very intriguing to me to hear other people in the world of investment education wonder why we get clients when we're saying that our ROIs are 1% to 2.2% per month. And as you guys are seeing in the process that you're working in, it's because it's realistic, right? It's realistic, and we always want to. That's one of the decisions I made after 2008, 2009. And it's like, I do not want to talk about anything that's unrealistic for most people. And does that mean I will never, ever promote trading? Absolutely not. I will just highlight very intensely that this is for traders that have time to trade, and not for people that don't, and not for people that don't want to do that. So yeah, that's I'm really glad to see your ROIs come in, and they're always right within the range that we say. And it's sort of weird, because when you're in my position, it's like, hold on, that's what we said would happen, and then it's happening. It's when you come from this world from back in 2008 and beyond that, you're in this weird space of, well, yeah, it's possible to get 5 to 7% per month returns, but you know that it's not realistic for most people to do that. So it's really great to see you guys keep coming up with these ROIs that we always tell people are possible, because they are. Nicholas said, "Hello, Minesh. Options Express doesn't accept people from my country." Which broker would you advise the most, given I have low capital? Which country is that, Nicholas? At Netherlands, so May week 4, which is next week, which is why you have a zero, premium on that. Well, actually, not next week, this week. You want to go to June 16. So without the WK4 or WK3 or anything on it, it will just say June 16. But Nicholas, the other one you want to look at is Interactive Brokers, or just do a Google research. Type in Barron's, Barrons. Type in your country name, and then type in best broker. And Barron's is the magazine that does all the research on all the brokers and comes up with the best list. But if I'm pretty sure if it's the same Nicholas, we have a lot of Nicholases. But if it's the same Nicholas, then you're within Europe, and that should be. Interactive Brokers should be able to handle that without any issues. Derek said, still learning, been through all the modules now, so kind of got it, I think. I know step 1 is a put, but would you not have puts and calls running at the same time at one point? Or you mean only ever one or the other? Only ever one or the other. France, Options Express should accept clients in France. If they're not for whatever reason, then Interactive Brokers or any other broker in France will be able to do that. Robert said, newbie question. I'm already holding SLV shares. It looks like a good time to sell a put in hopes of buying more. If I sell a cover call, how do I specify which shares, the old ones or new ones, a call is applied to? You don't. Nathalie, no. So when you're selecting the expiry month, you just want to click the drop-down menu. If you go into the Learning Center and look at how do I place a call, I actually walk through. It's on the cheat sheet page. It's like a 3-minute video, and I go through exactly how to find the chain and everything else. Jay said, so which is better, buy a put at 14.50 or just buy SLV? You mean sell a put at 14.50 or just buy SLV? I'm just getting started. Personally, I want to, I'm a long-term investor in gold and silver. So for me, I can't say which is better for you. That's up to you. But for me, I want to buy as much as I can, buy SLV as much as I can right now. And if it goes down to 14.50, I mean, I don't really have an issue with that, simply because of the, from my personal investment objectives, I have enough liquidity to manage that, and I'm not worried about it going down $1 because I'm holding for 5 years or 10 years, right? So, from my perspective, I would just buy. But if you want to, anyone who's new, if you're going to buy a sizable amount, then what you might want to do just to practice is actually buy 50% of stocks and the other 50% sell some puts at whatever price you want to sell them at and see which one works out better. That's also a great learning experience. Right? There is no definitive answer as to which one you should do because every single person's completely individual. The advantage of using this strategy is whatever your individual preference is, you can do with that. You can do within the market. Let me just make sure I've answered all the questions here. So yeah, Nicholas, France, Interactive Brokers should do that. Again, like I said, Barron's, France, best broker. Then you can figure it out as to which broker you want to use. Because there might be a broker with a better deal in France than Options Express or Interactive Brokers, although Interactive Brokers are pretty hard to beat. Robert said just buy the damn thing. It depends. I mean, if you're a long-term investor, absolutely. Absolutely. But if you're short, if you're trading it and you want to trade it, then then you got to look at it and go, hey, which one is right for me? And that's always the question. Derek said, Jason, sounds great. I'll buy some SLV and do a put. Jay, you're going to have an amazing learning experience because you'll see exactly how both of them perform, and you'll be able to take that knowledge. I mean, that was one of the best things I did when I first started, which is I actually split it up, and I did a bit of everything because it shows you how easy it is to, well, it shows you the in-depth data of how each one moves and how each one performs, and you can do you can have a thinking process of, okay, so, well, if I did that with the whole of my money, then I would have made this amount. If I did that with the whole of my money, then I would have made this amount, and this is what I actually made, and you can figure it out. The truth is, on your first few trades, if you're a newbie, even down the line, sometimes when you're confused, it's best to do a little bit of everything. If you know it's the right decision, you're just confused as to which way to go. And I do this all the time. I mean, we do this with calls, we do this with everything. If you're confused between a 1550, sorry, let's say you're confused. Say you were confused with a 16 or a 1650 call. Want to do a bit of both. It teaches you exactly how each one's going to respond. Yes, you'll make less money if you're right, but that's what that's what the learning process is. The lesson is way more valuable than the first profits that you make. Trust me. Jay said, I hate to say I screwed up with my last put, lost a little, but the learning process is good. What happened? Derek said, if you buy some now, will you just hold it? Does it cost to hold each month? As thinking I may just buy some and have puts too. Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm just holding it. If I'm buying some at this point in the market, all I'm doing is, but Jay, what can I say? A lot of people have screwed up on their first trades. I would love to hear exactly what you did. But that's the learning process. Just keep it, we had Dean, who I think is on the call right now, who did the wrong trade, and the next month came back and did 3.5%. I think it was 3.5%. Quote me on that, but I think it was 3.5%. Simply because of that learning experience and being on these calls, which is absolutely fantastic. And that's what it's about. It's not what you do this month, it's what you do for the next 10 years that's important. Derek says, okay, so this is presumably a very low point in SLV historically then. Yes, it's a very, very low point historically as far as the past performance goes, and it's very, very low in terms of the potential of silver too. Jay said, sorry, I sold a put at the wrong time. I did it when it was at the middle of the chart. Yep, there you go. Simple. Team said, that's correct, Minesh. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, so, that's really the value of the lesson. Remember, the first few trades, it's not about the profit you make on the first few, it's about the profit you make for the next 10 years. And so if you can weather the storm, so to say, on the first few and really get good at it, then you can start doing the long-term trades and making money consistently for the next 10 years. That's what's important, and that's what you really want, guys. There's no point. I would rather you lose a little bit, like, this is genuinely hand on heart, I would rather you lose a little bit of money on the first trade and learn that you need to follow the rules so that you make money for the next 10 years, rather than getting it right for a year, going all in on a trade that you think is going to go through the roof because your ego is telling you this is absolutely amazing and everything I touch turns into gold, and losing everything, which I've seen happen with my own eyes. So it's just for me, sacrificing the first few trades of profit so that you can continue doing it for 10 years. That's what it's all about for me. That's if you have to sacrifice, right? Some people are not making mistakes. That's also great. But learning that to follow the rules and learning to follow the system is what it's all about. Jay said, my Options Express commissions are around $15. Should they be lower? You can ask for them to lower them. They probably will not do it, but you can ask. You should be able to get it to $9.95. But it depends on how long you've had your account and everything else. So you can just message them on live chat and ask them. Derek said, after going through all the modules, we are ready to go, right? Nothing I'm missing or should go through. Derek, how do you feel? It's a question for you. Everything's there. Everything's here on the Q&A calls. How do you feel? Do you feel like you're ready to go? Done a virtual trade? Comfortable with that? Comfortable with everything I spoke about in the modules, in the training? Annette said, I didn't realize there would be another commission charge on expiry. If SLV hadn't gone up, I would have had a slight loss because of all the fees. Is there any way to get them reduced? What is the lowest charge? And that it depends on what you did on expiry. There shouldn't have been any charge as far as that goes. I would speak to Options Express on live chat and ask them, unless you closed it, for example, if you bought to close it, then there might have been like a $5 charge or something right at the last minute. But speak to them and ask them what the charge is. Depends, I can't really say the lowest charge because it's discussed on an account by account basis. I've personally got it down to $4.95. But, again, I cannot, and Options Express have told me not to suggest to people that they can do that. So it just depends on your trading activity and everything else. But generally, $9.95 to $15 is about right. But speak to them. It's always worth speaking to them. If you don't ask, you don't get. So it's always, always, always worth speaking to them. But overall, very exciting market. I think it's a good sign as far as the long-term potential of gold and silver this year goes. I think that we're going to experience some volatility, which is also great. I think we're going to have a great period of income generation. I think we're going to have a great period of buying opportunities. And I believe that we're going to have just an amazing period of securing your position. Because if you secure your position, then you feel comfortable with your position and you're happy with your long-term position, you're going to make an amazing amount of money. So now is the time to do that. Derek said, I feel I can go with virtual first to get the practice of putting them on. Also just about to get funds into Options Express account. Need to get their US bank details. Absolutely. It's all inside the online trading platform. So you'll be able to find that without any issues. But like I said, an amazing, exciting time for this market. It's not that often where I get to say I think we're laying something up here for a huge rise. I think that's exactly what's going on here. Remember, these markets are so oversold; it's unreal. So a little pop back to reasonable levels, could mean a 30-40% increase. But all of that requires you to secure your position and be in the market. If you're not in the market, you're not going to make any profit. You'll watch all of us make a lot of money and you'll sit there on the sidelines and say, hey, what the hell happened? You've got to be in the market and you've got to be taking action to actually profit.
Right. On that note, it was lovely to speak to you guys. I can't wait to speak to you next week. Have a really great week, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, and have an amazing, amazing week, guys. Speak to you soon. Bye bye.
Well, there you have it, a glimpse into our weekly Q&A call, which you get as a client for however long you want to attend. There's not a time limit. There's no limit on how many you can attend. Once you're a client, you get to attend them. So you're never going to be asked to pay any more to attend these Q&A calls. And where they really come in value is, for example, when the market has just moved up 30%, down 30%, and you want to know what to do with your position. So this is why I believe we have such a high success rate, is because every single week, minus holidays and market closure days and things like that, we're there on the phone. You can see what's happening in the market. I get to walk you through exactly what's happening to give you the confidence to actually do this. And that's why all of our people, as you saw on the Q&A call, get really great results, because simply we're committed to your success as much as you are to your success. And along with our results financing plan, where you're paying us 40% of our fee and we've got to earn the rest over the period of time that you want to work with us, this is how we do it. We make sure that you can generate the success that you want so that we can generate the success that we want, and it all turns into a win-win deal. So I hope this has given you a great glimpse into what you're going to be getting and receiving on a weekly basis. As far as support goes, we are committed to your success, as I'm sure you are too, and I'm sure that seeing the strategy in play for certain clients, as you saw on the Q&A call, is great too. Just want to remind you, if for any reason you missed these, as you know, we have clients in many countries. If for example, you miss these, you get to see the recording within a few hours in our client center. So you can submit a question and then I can answer it, and then you can submit it. Not all of our clients attend these live. And the beneficial thing is, for example, say for 3 months you're working on a different project, because all of our clients are entrepreneurs, investors, and people who are busy. And we understand that, say, if you miss 3 months, you can come back and start attending immediately, and there's not going to be any questions about it. They happen every single Monday, 6 p.m. UK time, minus holidays, bank holidays, and if there's any urgent things that come up. For example, I was stuck on a flight where I was meant to be out in Las Vegas for a conference, and my plane had to turn around mid-air, and we had to spend the night back in London and fly out the next day, the day of the Q&A call. So emergencies like that, we don't have. Obviously, there's no Q&A call simply because I'm not on the ground anywhere. But minus emergencies like that, market closure days, we have these every single week. And you can attend them and get the answers that you need to make the right decisions, to make the right profits, just like the rest of our clients. And this is one of the key reasons why people love our program, and why I think you love our program, and why we get the success rates that we do. Anyway, I hope that's given you a great glimpse and impacted your decision on whether to become a client or not. If it has, go ahead and click the button below and have a conversation with us about becoming a client. And I shall speak to you soon. Take care. This is Minesh Bindi, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.